Welcome back into North Dakota today. I am here with Randall from Cashway, and we are here for another episode of Cooking with Cashway. Randall, what do we got today?
Well, Mary, I'm so glad you're joining us.
Yes, it's fun. I'm excited.
My brother from a different mother is gone, but it's good to have him here.
He felt like he needed a day off. I don't understand.
So a while ago, you and I talked a lot about mashed potatoes.
We did.
And there's a lot to uncover with mashed potatoes. The choice of potato, the type of thing you're going to serve it with. The peel, do people like these styles or not? I think these are all the kind of things that we want to unpack today.
And that sounds awesome because my family, we always go back and forth. Do we do red potatoes? Do we do russet potatoes? You know, then some of us get on that whole starch thing and we're talking about rutabagas. And so tell us what the difference is and what the best one would be.
So reds are going to have a different kind of creamy quality to them. That's why they're really good for soups and things like that because they hold up real well in a soup or a chowder. But when you mash them, they get, they're rich, and they have kind of a sticky quality to them.
Okay.
So, that's something to kind of consider, but, that's a meaty potato.
And that's the ones I like.
Right. And then we have the Yukon Golds. Now, Yukon Golds are kind of a cross between a red and a Burbank or a russet. You kind of get this nice sweet flavor, but you don't have that real heavy starch or that real heavy creaminess quality to them.
Okay.
And then we have the russet potato here. And that one's going to be the one that's probably going to cook the quickest, but it also has the things that are most sensitive.
Oh, like what?
Yes. Well, so like for example, when we're boiling our potatoes, what you don't want to do is you don't want to let's say that you're cooking your potato and you go do something. So you're going to just turn the heat off and leave it on the stove. All right. Very bad for this potato. Now, reds, they can handle that but that is a sponge.
Okay.
So that's going to absorb all that liquid. Also, if you overcook these, they're going to absorb the water.
That makes sense.
So these two are a little bit more forgiving in that sense. But this one for sure, it's not very forgiving. It'll soak it up like a sponge.
That makes total sense because I have used those, and that's very likely why I don't like them as much because I've cooked them too long.
You cook them too long, and then you let them sit in water. And those are two bad things. Okay. Another thing that when we get to mashing is allowing it to rest, allowing it to steam off. Very important for the russet. Not so important for these two, but very, very important there. Now, what's kind of fun is that you can bring in other root vegetables. And the russet is really probably the best to do that. So like parsnips, rutabaga, turnips, sometimes celery root if you can find that.
Oh, okay.
But these are all really nice. So I'd go like 1/3 to 2/3.
Okay.
And that's a great way to sneak vegetables in to kids too, because they probably aren't going to notice it. They're going to be like, these taste a little different.
Right.
But they're still going to eat it, right?
I always used to sneak veggies in somewhere with my kids, but I never thought about it with mashed potatoes, so I should have.
So I'm going to have you add a tablespoon of salt to both of those.
Okay.
So because what we're doing is, if we add the salt right away in the beginning, what's going to happen is that it's going to take a little longer for that to boil.
Oh.
And what we want to do is we don't want to just add it in once it gets boiling. So what we want to do is we want to cook these until they're fork tender. So what that means is that we're going to take a fork and we're going to drive it in, and there's little to no resistance. Okay. Yep. There might be a little, but because if there's zero, then we've overcooked it.
And see, that's where I get to.
And that's really important here. Like I said, these two are more forgiving. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about straining and things like that. So we'll go from there.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it, Randall. Thank you, and we will be back in just a few minutes with more North Dakota Today and Cooking with Cashway.